Good morning, good afternoon. Question for you. Are you living by decision, by design, or are you living by default when it comes to the things you dream and the things you desire? This is coming from a recent comment on one of my YouTube videos about sexless relationships. And a guy said, I was more lonely during my marriage than any other time in my life. I believe if this happens, she was just settling for you and you were not her first choice. And unfortunately, it doesn't just talk about men and women. I mean, it doesn't cut just one way. He's right. For some people, sometimes they get married because they believe it's better to have someone than to have no one, to be alone. And people settle. It's often, unfortunately, it leads to a lifetime of misery. It leads to a lifetime of headache and heartache because you're with somebody who does not delight your soul. Life is too short for two things. It's too short for bad food, and it's too short for bad love affairs. If you're going to be in an intimate relationship with another human being, swimming in each other's souls, being each other's dream, desire, being that fire for each other, lighting each other up in all the right ways, like, that's what's possible. But you've got to get out of this living by default, what do I deserve, and getting into live by decision. And that can be scary sometimes. That can be uncomfortable sometimes. There's an ugly truth that most people don't know about, and it is this. A lot of times women, feminine, because they are more flexible, they will marry the wrong person at the right time because she's got the pressure for kids, she's got the pressure on her eggs, and like, I gotta have a kid, I gotta do this and this. I even know women who opt to have children, no man in their life. They just decide to go the in vitro, get a donor, and then have kids on their own because there's that need and that desire and that dream inside of themselves, and it's time. I gotta go. I gotta make this happen. So for a lot of women, they might marry the wrong person, but it's the right time to be in a relationship. It's the right time to have a family for them. Guys, a lot of times will do the opposite. Masculine will do the opposite. It's the right person, but it's the wrong time, and he won't move forward. And a part of him will just be shut off. And it's just, that's not my journey, that's not my opportunity. And a lot of these guys, you won't hear a lot of the discussion about it because it's just a part of their life they turn off. And they put their time, their energy, their heart, their mind, their energy into other circumstances, other relationships, being a mentor, adding value into a community, finding a place where they belong. Or they get locked into just being solitary and they just shut that part of themselves off. And it's not necessarily what they want, but they don't know what else to do. They don't know where else to go. They've been hurt so badly that they just turn it off. And I want to encourage you, it doesn't have to be that way, right? We don't have to live by this default, I guess this is what I get, I guess this is what I deserve. There's a great quote I came across a long time ago. It says, I've discovered God will not tie my shoelaces without me. It's the idea we can be a participant in our own lives. We can be a participant in our own rescue. But we've got to get clear on what it is we truly dream, we truly desire, we truly crave, we truly thirst for, and own that. With integrity, with honesty, not make anybody else wrong for the things that we crave, the things we desire, the things we dream. It's just simply own that. I married out of fear of Vietnam in 1970. Wow. Connie, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, the Vietnam War caused a lot of people to make decisions to protect themselves because they were living in fear. And I don't want to go to this place and hurt other people they're not my enemies. I don't, their ideology is different than mine. So what? They have a different belief than me. So what? So thank you for sharing that. That's unfortunately, you're not alone. A lot of people in that generation, similar experience. Now, the other thing is, if you are in an unhappy relationship or unhappy marriage, it also rolls into your kids because your kids will start to see the dynamic between you and your partner. That becomes normal for them, right? Normal is not some standard that's universal for the human species. Normal is whatever you experienced as you grew up. That is your normal, different from somebody else's. And that is partially also what drives that default, I guess this is what it is, even when that little voice inside you says, but this doesn't feel right, this doesn't seem like good or healthy or sustainable, but everybody I look around me, they're doing the same thing. I don't know what to do. So I want to share with you, I want to share with you that life does not have to be that way forever. There's a great quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson that I absolutely adore, and it says this: Whatever you do, you need courage. Whatever course you decide upon, there is always someone to tell you that you are wrong. There are always difficulties arising to tempt you to believe your critics might be right. To map out a course of action and follow it to the end requires the same sort of courage that a soldier needs. Peace has its victories, but it takes brave men and women to win them. Your life can be peaceful. Your life can be joyous. Your relationships, your intimacy, your marriage, it can be beautiful. And maybe that means you have to end the current unhealthy relationship. And that could be, it could be that you end the relationship with this other human being. It could be you end the unhealthy relationship with your own story, your own standards, and your past. Maybe it's not the other person. Maybe they're in your life to poke at you, to show you where your own ego and fear and doubt and insecurities are. And if you step into that place that you fear, you can find freedom and redemption. Maybe that's possible too. It's hard to tell when you're in the stuff to figure out, should I cut and run or should I dive deeper? So I want to encourage you, maybe you need to show up differently. Maybe you need to make things better instead of making things bitter. And if you want to know the difference, I'm going to sneeze. Give me 1 second. Woo, that was a good one. Allergies. They come after you everywhere. But if you want to know what makes the difference, let's get some time together. Just go to bit.ly/talktojeremy and grab about 15 to 20 minutes, and let's unpack kind of where you're at and what your situation is. And I would love to discuss more with you. So let's talk. I only have 3 openings available this week, so grab some time. And that's my timer, so it's time for me to go. Connie, thank you for sharing. She said, wrong reason, 19, divorced 7 years later. What's that happens at 19? Not sure who you are. They are not sure who they are. You both can grow and often grow in other directions. But we'll talk about that more another time. You guys make it fantastic, right? See you next week. Bye.